Today we talked about faith. Now that's a huge topic, especially when it comes to trusting God or taking some big step of faith. It's a huge challenge in our lives. It reminds me of when my kids were really small and they couldn't swim really well yet, and they were very small and short, and so they would have me stand in the deep end and they would jump off the wall and I would catch them every time after time after time. I'd never let them go, because if I let them go, bloop, 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 into the water they would go. But one day, I was hanging out and I wasn't paying attention. One of my kids walked around the side of the pool and they saw me standing there, and they knew that if they jumped off the wall, I would catch them. So sure enough, I see out of the corner of my eye, one of my kids come flying at me. And at the last second, I turned and I spun around and I grabbed a hold of them, and they started giggling and laughing, and they thought it was the funniest thing. Scared me to death. But my kids had complete faith that if they jumped off that wall, Dad was gonna catch them. In the same way, with our relationship with God, it pleases Him when we trust Him with our lives. You know, there's a lot of scriptures in the Bible that says, if you'll do this, then God will do this. Or as you take this step of faith, then God will meet you there. One particular story is about the lepers. And the lepers came to Jesus and they said, Jesus, heal me. Now, many times we saw that Jesus immediately spoke a word or touched them and they were healed, but not this time. He said, go and show yourself to the priest. But they weren't healed yet, but in faith, they turned around and they started walking towards the town. And the Bible says, as they went, God healed them. Today, I want to challenge you to take some steps of faith. If it's an area of your life that you're afraid to trust Him with, take a step of faith. If it's in some kind of relationship you're not willing to totally give over to Him, take that step of faith. Maybe there's a friend that you want to share Christ with. Take a step of faith, and I promise you, God will meet you there.